young child, there was this old rocking chair that sat in the corner of my mom's office. And it was hand carved, it was wooden. I actually still have this chair today because it really is a kind of a piece of my childhood that I didn't realize was so strongly connected to who I am. And if I wasn't careful, when I would crawl into this rocking chair, I would actually get a splinter. It was covered with leather on the bottom, and the back of it was this caned chair, and it was so creaky. And the reason that I remember this chair so vividly, as part of my childhood, is because if I was in school and I had a fever or I was sick and the nurse called my mom to pick me up, I didn't get to go home and crawl in bed. I got to go to work. I got to go to the office and crawl into that chair and try to find a way to get comfortable and listen to phone rings, to the phones ringing, and to the bright lights above me. And so I was not one of those children that got to try to play sick, to play hooky from school, because what that meant was I got to go to work. When you're a child of entrepreneurs and of people that are self-employed, you get a lot of their aspects, like being driven and understanding what real work means. But it also helps you kind of shift the perspective later in life. And so, what it taught me was that you can work incredibly hard and you can make good money for your family, and you will pay for it with your time. And I'm not here to say that you should be able to pick your kids up from school when they've got a fever and take them home, and you should not work, and there's priorities in life and all of these things. But there are these perspectives that help me realize why I am so passionate about leverage. And what I also realized through this experience was, I think it's hard for us to define and understand leverage. I've spoken on Agents Empowered many times about leverage. And I think I leave feeling like, did anybody get it? Did anybody truly understand the message that I was trying to give, right? And so I would love for this to be more interactive. And if you want to throw it in the chat, you can. But if you want to kind of call it out loud, I'd be really interested to see what you guys think leverage means. So is there anybody that would like to kind of talk to me and have a conversation about what we believe leverage means?
Taking advantage of our time with help that we can get. So better time management.
Okay, got it.
What sticks with me, Allison, is you're always like, there's $20 an hour jobs. Get rid of them.
Okay.
So hiring a housekeeper, whoo, because my mindset used to be, why am I going to pay somebody, $150 or whatever it is when I can do it myself? But now I see that I can make more money than that if I work that hour or two.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? What does leverage mean to you?
I just leveraged AI to do the YouTube videos.
Okay, great.
Awesome, Vic.
So if we take it a step further, and I would really love if you don't speak up to just put it in the chat box. Everybody make a statement about time. And if you don't know what I mean, like, just make a sentence about time, something you believe about time. Time is X. I don't have enough X. So give me statements about time. Does anybody else want to verbally tell me anything that they feel about time? So when I did this activity and I was sitting here reflecting on this, my statement was, there's not enough time in the day. So now I encourage you, as we talk about leverage, to really help you understand why I'm so passionate about this. This was the perspective shift for me that made so much sense. I want you to take your statement and I want you to replace the word time with life. So who has a statement that they made about time that they would like to share out loud, replacing the word time with life?
I just said time is freedom, and now it says life is freedom, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah.
Well, mine is not good because I said time is money. So life is money does not sound great to me, but
I said the same thing, Miranda.
So mine was, there's not enough time in the day. How powerful do you think it is when I sat there and wrote, there's not enough life in the day? Like that right there is what makes me so passionate about saying, okay, what is leverage? And Catherine made a comment about, well, I hired a cleaner because I can go and do work while I'm doing that, you know, without having to clean my house. I'm just interchanging the time where I can take my time that's more valuable and do things that are money producing activities. And that's amazing. I think that as we start reflecting on our journey through this industry, there are pieces and parts that you can't compare yourself to somebody that's been doing it 10 or 20 years, right? So if you're an agent that's been doing it 1 or 2, I would really encourage you to learn and get a mentor and look at what they've done and their trajectory in the business. But I also encourage you not to compare yourself, because you are going to need to double down. You are going to need to do different tasks than, say, Anna and I are as team leaders, right? But I do think it's important that everybody on this call, if you are a solo agent, if you are an agent on a team, you need to look at your day and understand, what are you spending your time doing? Because there's not enough life in my day. I mean, that was so impactful for me, right? Is that I have to shift the way that I look at my time and what I'm doing with it and who I'm pouring my energy into. And so, and I will put a PDF out for everybody that's on the call. That's just some tasks and things that you can kind of start swapping out. But when you look at your day, I would challenge you to audit your day to day and think about every task that you're doing, and is it the highest producing tasks? Because I believe that when we get really good at this and really focused, we can compress our time. And many of us that are running this business full time, we could do everything that we've done in our day in 4 hours, but instead we allow it to take 6 or 8, right? And the question is, depending on your growth mode and where you are in this trajectory, maybe you do learn to compress it into 4 and then you work 8, right? Maybe that's where you double down and that's where you see that quantum leap to the next level. But we are mistaking using our energy for momentum. We're mistaking using our energy for doing activities that really aren't moving the needle. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but if you go back and look at all of these empowers that we do, you will see that you have to be doing 5 tasks in this business to move the needle. It's lead generation, it's lead follow-up, it's script and role play practice, it's setting appointments, and it's negotiating and writing contracts. Anything that you are doing outside of those 5 things are not moving the needle. They're not. They are not money-making activities. Now, are they necessary? Yes. Or if you're brand new in the business and you're doing 1 to 5 deals, you probably don't need to go and start spending $20 an hour to have somebody put open house signs out for you. But once you start hitting 15 to 25 units, we really need to get very serious about how we're spending our time. And once we scale that from 15 to 40 units, we need to get very serious about how we spend our time. And I've got lenders on here. I can see Ross's face here, and I'm going to pick on him for a minute. But Ross, when we talk about this and we have these conversations, is this any different in your business?
No, it's pretty funny actually. Lending, just like the real estate world, everything we do has a dollar price sheet tag to it. You know, I can sit here and crunch numbers and figure out issues, but that's not necessarily getting me what I need to get. So I leverage on my teammates to do stuff for me as well, just like putting the signs out. Because this is a world where you got to be seen. You can't go hide in an office and sit here and crunch numbers and wait for phone calls. Does it work? Yeah, but it's not maximizing your time. Because what happens is you end up sitting here and you find a funny reel, you go down a rabbit hole, you're TikToking, YouTube, and whatever the hell you're doing. And you're like, shit, man, I need to be out in front of these people and, being available for y'all's needs. Because You kind of look at teamwork, leverage, and it all goes into the same thing. And if you're with like-minded people more often, you're going to be more successful. And that's, leverage to me, kind of going back to the initial, it's not so much, pawning off your job. It's positioning, is leveraging yourself to position yourself to make more jobs for other people down the line too.
Oh, I love
You know,
that. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because if I'm really doing my job, I'm going to be getting enough business where I got to hire more people, and
And the
it's
thing is that if you're so bogged down in the small tasks, you're not able to come up for air and even have
right.
that perspective.
Exactly. And my analogy is life's a lot easier to look at when you're outside of the tornado. But when you're inside the tornado and you're just spinning, 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 yeah, you're spinning fast, but you ain't going nowhere. You got to get outside of it and really figure out where you want that tornado's path to go. And that's how you do it is you leverage, you get your time, your sanity, because I think that's a big thing in our world. But yeah, so leverage is growth, life is growth. You kind of you got to step back. You got to realize that this is something everybody has to do if you want to succeed and continue to grow. If you want to stay where you're at, fine, nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
But
Right.
leverage is growth.
And the thing is that if you want to stay where you're at and there's nothing wrong with it, we can open that conversation as well because there is nothing wrong with it. If you want to do 15 to 20 transactions a year, if you want to do 5 to 10 transactions a year, that's amazing. Although you still have the ability to look at that and leverage and say, what can I do that can leverage and give me my time, i.e., my
Yeah.
life back, right? As soon as we start interchanging the word time for life, you start realizing you can either use it to fulfill the things that fill your cup and make you happy, time with family, time with faith, community, giving back, service driven, or you can use it to double down and put it back in your business, right? And there's freedom on the other side of that. And so for me, I think the thing to give you guys is the $20 an hour task filter. And if you're thinking about this, depending on the stage of business you're in, this really works for everything. So if it's repeatable, if it's not dollar producing, which means the 5 things we talked about, right? The lead generation, lead follow-up, script and role play practice, negotiating contracts, and setting appointments, okay? If it's not those 5 things that are the most important in your business and it doesn't require your license, your voice, or your relationships, you should delegate it, automate it, or delete it. It is that simple. So the first step is if it's repeatable. What are things that we are doing right now in our business that are repeatable that do not require our license? I don't know if anybody wants to throw that in the chat or if you guys want to talk about it. But I think that this is really eye-opening for a lot of people to hear others' perspectives.
Social media.
Social media, okay. Now I would challenge that if your number one lead source, we have some people on here that like YouTube is their bread and butter, right? There are parts of that they can leverage, but at the end of the day, their face is needed to film the videos, right? But for the majority of us, social media is not our number one lead source. It is not what's putting food on the table, right? It's necessary, but it's not the absolute driver. So that's definitely something that I think we can leverage out. What else do we have that's repeatable and not necessarily dollar producing? A few things that I was thinking about is definitely putting signs out for like your listings. If you don't have a transaction coordinator, if you don't have somebody that does that for you on your team, CRM cleanup and like notes, taking notes and making tags. If you are doing this at a level of doing over 15 transactions a year, I definitely think people doing like appointment scheduling, showing logistics, and even helping with your templates and your emails and your text and your CRM. If that is not something that you derive joy from, find somebody to do that. Some people on here are going to smile and be like, I love that. If you don't spend your energy doing it. Another thing that I think once you get kind of past that 15 unit a year, that is a gap that is missing in our industry is somebody that is going to do your document preparation. So if you're driving and you've got 2 sets of clients or 3 sets of clients in the car today, and set 1 wants to make an offer, but you have a 20-minute gap between picking up set 2, because that's where we're back at our market, you should be able to make a phone call to your admin that says, hey, here are the documents I need you to prep. Can you get into my SkySlope? Can you start these documents? I'll get in there and review them. But they need to pull the tax ID number. They need to pull the information. They need to get all of the stuff from the MLS gathered in and prepped and ready, because that is going to create a current that stops you. It also doesn't help your client when there's multiple offers coming and you have to get 2 different sets of clients out of your car before you can submit offers. Many of us have transaction coordinators on this call if you're on a team, but if you don't, we can also send you a file of what you could look for in a transaction coordinator. Because if you're doing $20 an hour tasks, you're making $20 an hour. Truby, what did you say? Get all the listing information and research. Yeah, that's a great one. So if you have, especially even newer agents that are licensed that really want to learn, you can help them by saying, hey, this is the address, this is the information that I'm looking for. Can you help me pull comps? Can you get me CMAs together? And really compile all the information so that when you're ready to sit down and analyze it, it is there for you. I think a lot of the other things that you're looking at are, again, your email campaigns, your text templates, and your monthly newsletters to your database. I think those are things that we spend a lot of time on to make them look really fluffy and really pretty, where we should be able to leverage that out. And Anna and I, if you are looking, we have resources where we can connect you with people that are virtual assistants that work at a much more affordable rate than $20 an hour, but it's things that you can really help to leverage your business. With all of this being said, what are other items that you guys feel, if you reflect on the last week, that you have done that either didn't fill your cup, that you feel like you could delegate off, or that you feel like would help leverage your time to give you more time to put back into your business to do the 5 tasks that help you make money?
Quiet crew today.
What'd you say?
We got a quiet crew today.
Well, I was going to say, utilizing a showing assistant, or like I'm on a team, so I could utilize people that aren't quite as busy. I probably need to do that more. I've done it when I'm out of town, but usually if I'm around, I take care of it. But trust me, these last 2 weeks, I've tried to figure a lot out with that. And I've got people, I have it lined up for if I need it.
I think it's interesting because you're like, when I'm out of town, I utilize it. But when I'm here, I just do it.
Mm-hmm.
But what would it look like if you had somebody else doing it and you were taking that time to either, be with your mom, be with your family, put your time back into your business, grow your business? This is where the discrepancy and the gap widens between the people that get stuck at doing 25 deals a year and the people that you're like, how did they do 60 deals last year? Like, how is that even possible? I'll be honest, once you find the way out of that and you start leaning into leverage, the people doing 60 deals a year are probably a lot more calm and have a lot more time than the people doing 30, because they're not spending their time doing the mundane task. Another thing that I'm seeing the gap in our industry, and especially on our team with our top performers, is this. Who is going to sit? Your client wants to go to an inspection, and it ends up being a 4-hour inspection. Who attends their inspections with their clients when their client wants to be there?
Well, you have to. Somebody has to be there.
Somebody has to be there. Does it have to be you?
No.
No. So that's one of the things that I've analyzed over the last few days is, where are agents spending their time that really isn't helping them make money, and what's stressing them out? It's sitting at inspections. And this is where partner agents come in. This is where buyers agents and showing assistants come in, where it makes so much more money or so much more time I'm so sorry, so much more sense for you to use your time wisely and to pay the money to have somebody sit there. And so Laura said, I only go to recap at the end. Yeah, that's right. I mean, there are, in our situations, people do expect you to be there as the agent the entire time. You're not allowed to leave your client there by themselves. But if that's the case and that's the situation, then leverage your time, pay somebody to be there for you, and have a partner in place. Client pop buys is another one that I see people doing. You know, if you're just dropping little pop buys off on porches and you're not doing like actual interaction with your clients, that's repeatable and you can delegate that.
100%.
Yep. Same thing with like cleaning up your database and getting your templates done. It's repeatable and you can delegate that. Miranda said I'm preaching, and I am, because she sat in a home inspection for 4 hours the other day and it almost killed her.
Oh,
So-
Miranda.
So, you know, again, if you're doing 1 to 15 transactions, I would encourage you to call me and we can have a conversation and we can talk about what your day looks like so that you can really push your time back into making you more money. If you are doing 15 to 25 transactions, Anna and I are here to help you understand what does the next level for leverage look like. If you're not on a team and you don't have a transaction coordinator, I encourage you to look at what it would cost you to get a full-time listing coordinator and transaction coordinator versus looking at teams and what their structures offer, right? There's many teams with many different structures where you don't have to start from scratch. You can say, I just want to plug in to your system and see what that looks like to give me my time back. But guys, the people that go from 25 to 60 transactions, they are not superwoman. They've learned to scale through people and through systems. That's what it is. And then the next level from 60 to 100 transactions, they're usually not doing it alone either. They're doing it with showing assistants. They're leveraging their time so that they can buy it back to put it back into their business. And so I see a lot of people, you know, saying like light staging, Canva and website stuff, getting repair quotes. These are all items that I really challenge you to analyze your day, audit your week, and at the end of this, have a conversation with yourself to say what filled my cup and what truly moved the needle. Because we are mistaking movement for achievement. We are convincing ourselves that we are hardworking real estate agents and we are out there busting our butts and we are so exhausted and we're doing all of these things to grow our business when honestly about 30% of the activities that you're doing are actually growing your business. The other 70%, I would say, are actually hurting your business, because you should be taking that time to sit down at your computer and do the 5 money-making activities. And so every time you sit down, analyze and audit, what are you doing that's actually making you money? What are our thoughts around this?
I'll go. So I was just thinking that when I'm driving by and I see a piece of crap property and I screenshot it so that I can go back and hit it, it takes me a minute to get back to do it. But if I could just send it to somebody and say, hey, can you pop this in? Can you get the information? Do all the things. Then when I sit down, I can just call and I'm going to, I don't know that. I guess that out of all the things you just said, that's the one that just stuck with me, that I don't know why I don't do that.
So one thing that is important for me to remind myself is this: remove all currents. What does that mean to you guys? Val, when I drive and I see a sign and I take a picture of that for sale by owner, because that's what I do too, right? How much energy does it take for me to get back home, change the things I'm doing, get back in the mindset? Oh, wait, that's right. I got to find that photo. Okay, now I got to put it into BC Gov and I've got to go and find the number. Now I've got to put it into white pages. Those are all currents. Is the problem you picking up the phone and calling that person?
Absolutely not. It's taking the 15 minutes. And I'm not even talking about for sale by owner. I'm talking about a piece of property or a rundown house that obviously is not for sale that I want. But it is. It's taking that sometimes half an hour. And then you've got to stop what you're doing to switch gears when I'm doing a different activity. It's not the best use of my time when I can be doing something else with it. But yeah, 100%. That's a current taking me the wrong direction. That's the way I think of it.
Exactly. The current is the activity that you pause at. The current is the time that you're like, this is exhausting because I'm swimming against the current. So your job is to analyze what is the current and how do I find somebody to take that? Because my best use is calling the person, scripting, using the tools and the techniques I have to be able to convert that client. It's not me going and doing the back end work. I would also like to challenge, Stacy said, finding reliable people to do the things, and I don't have a ton of work for a full-time person. You don't have a ton of work for a full-time person because you're doing this work that are $20 an hour tasks that are bogging you down, that aren't allowing you to scale to the next level to get to 60 transactions that would then allow you to have the work for a full-time person. I also would challenge that there are a lot of people out there that are looking for this kind of thing, stay-at-home moms, military wives that are here on 3-year deployments that aren't looking for full-time jobs. We are just not putting it into the universe. Your kids, thank you, Truby. Like, we are just not putting it into the universe. So if you're looking for somebody to fill this position, I challenge you to put it on Facebook today. I hope I see every single person on this call post something on Facebook looking for a part-time person, looking for somebody 3 to 5 hours a week to help me with X. You would be shocked how many people are going to raise their hand for that. We just don't ask. We get in our heads and think, well, nobody's going to want to do this, or this isn't XYZ. A lot of it is actually us. We don't really know where to start. We don't know how to train them. We're not organized enough to actually hire the admin, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, you'll also be shocked how many are licensed and have little clue what they're doing. Right, exactly. But a lot of those people they're also willing to learn, and they look up to you in your business. If you're doing 15 transactions and they've done 1, they're looking up to you. If they've done 15 and you've done 60, they're looking up to you. And many of these people are growth minded and they want to learn. And so help them leverage your business, help them grow. And like Ross said, the more that you grow, the more you get to turn around and help them grow. And that really is our job as leaders here, right? It's to help empower people. It's to help them get to the next level. And so I think a lot of this is just getting that drunk monkey off your shoulder and realizing there is a lot of opportunity here to buy our lives back, not just to buy our time back.
Ooh, that was so good. What a powerful statement.
Need a cigarette, Anna?
Seriously. No, but I was gonna say this about the tasks, right? The first step is understanding what the tasks are so that you can actually delegate them out. And nothing will get you writing tasks down. Like, this is always my go-to exercise, and agents on my team know this. I ask for your love list and I ask for your suck list. What do you love doing and what do you freaking hate doing? What's the suck list? What's the love list? And right there will put you in the energy of creating tasks. But one thing I wanted to share, I got really intentional with the 12-week year, starting the year off, because I did feel like I had been inside the tornado for a little while, but I didn't feel like I was doing anything. So then it felt double bad because I was like, fuck, I'm in this tornado all day, every day, but I don't feel like I'm doing any of the activities that move the needle anymore because I'd gotten so reactive. And that happens. Like, it's like the channel's open, right? You let yourself kind of get in that cycle and then you can't get out. So I did the 12-week reset. And so I set 3 major goals, right? All 3 of those have 3 underneath them, and all 3 of those have 5 tactical actions. So you're talking, if my math is right, 45 items that are either once a week to daily, right? So a lot of stuff. It started that I needed 4 3-hour work blocks to do all of it. By week 2, I got it down to 2 4-hour work blocks. And then I started realizing I could pre-schedule some of the things. And then that wasn't even a work block. Now that's my Sunday, like, weekly setup. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was done with all my work yesterday, and Monday was a holiday. I was done with all of the things that I said I had to do professionally to get through the week. So that's where that time piece does become so powerful when you understand time. Because what I need to do to move the needle now consolidates into this tiny little box. And the satisfaction of saying, I did all the things that move the needle. I don't have to constantly now live the rest of the weekend. What are you going to do to move the needle, Anna? What are you going to do to move the needle, Anna? And so now I have the list of all the random things that are taking up space in my brain that I have the next couple days, and I'm going to go to New York tomorrow to literally knock out and get my brain space free so that I can reset again on Sunday. I'm not a highly structured person. I like to be very spontaneous. I like being available to react to things. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel needed. It makes me feel loved and appreciated. I will say there's so much stuff that if you just write it down, and now I'm realizing half of the things that I put on that move the needle list, I now could delegate to a VA. I could delegate it to a VA. It's insane.
So the
Insane.
$20 an hour filter, right, is it repeatable, non-dollar producing, and does it require your license, your voice, or your relationship? And if it doesn't, you need to delegate it, automate it, or delete it.
And even if it requires your voice, if you're smart and you have your ChatGPT built out, you can still delegate it.
Right. And what I will leave you guys with this is that I think a lot of us top performers and high achievers put kind of a badge of honor on ourselves that's like, look what we've sacrificed. Look what we're sacrificing. And I am not asking if you guys are willing to work hard and if you're willing to sacrifice for the business you're creating. That is not the question. The question is, are you sacrificing for the life that you actually want? And two things can be true at the same time. You can run a very successful, high earning business, and you do not have to let it drown your life. It does not have to take over your life. And so I think this word sacrifice is what kept coming up to me, is like, you are in business with people that have helped remove currents for you. Many of you are on teams, and that team leader has removed many of these currents for you already. So start looking at the currents you still are facing and learn how to remove them so that you can buy your time and your life back. And so I'm very passionate about this. I hope that this helped change your perspective in some way. And I do challenge you all to audit your day and your week and realize that there are options for you to compress time, do the same amount of business, if not more, in a shorter period of time, and buy your life back.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I've got for you
Who's
today.
coming next week, Al?
Yes, we have Samantha coming next week, and we are working on what her tactical topic is. If anybody has a topic that they would love to have, she is a top agent running a team in Pennsylvania. And if there are topics you would like for us to ask her to teach on, we would love to get your input because she is all the things and she can teach you anything. So, you let us know. I know we ask every week for topic requests, and if not, we're just going to give you one. So we hope that this is your most impactful 30 to 45 minutes a week. We love seeing you here, and we appreciate everyone. And let's make it a great day and go audit your day.
Make it a great day or not. The